How's it going? So today I'm going to talk about the picking out a beater knife. It's a nice enough day finally. I can come back to the deck and just kind of hang out, talk a little bit, give you my thoughts. This is a new knife I just picked up. This is a Palatheus clone. I'll be going more in depth on it in a different video. But it's kind of odd. I don't know if I hate it or love it. You can see how loud it fucking is, though. I wonder if I'll peak the mic on a new phone. So, let's talk about clones. Or not clones, fuck. Let's talk about beaters. So right here I have a list of probably everything that you'd see in a normal knife. Normal materials that knives are made out of. I'm going to go from weakest to strongest, in my opinion. I think the weakest, obviously, is plastic. Then we go to aluminum. Then we go to G10. Go to, I would say steel is the top. Titanium is a good combo. And I'm actually going to move this here. I know there are some atropos knives. Sorry, I'm a little under the weather. I know there's some atropos knives that use micarta as scales, but this is what I would put this up as. Obviously, different materials for the titanium are hold up better and whatnot. But we're also going to do drop tests, which I'm excited over. So steel, I think, is the toughest. We're going to go handles down from about shoulder length. I'll do it 3 times, unedited, and just kind of see. Let me do it so you can actually see. These knives are hitting. Assisted 4. That's what the handles look like on concrete. Because beaters, looks like one handle actually fared up quite a bit better than the other one. You can see, after wiping that down, just with my finger, it really doesn't look like much happened. Actually, it doesn't look like anything at all. You know what? Just for comparison. And a kind of half throw. We'll do that just to see. So you can see there are some marks and mars. But honestly, she looks stellar still. So steel and tolerance test still flips nicely. Still has same amount of handle play as it did. Relatively undamaged. Call that a 9 out of 10. Titanium. This is only a short part of the video. It's going to be the whole thing. This is my beater. So I'm just going to go nuts to butts. Just go straight out. And I wouldn't constitute I don't think that yeah, you can see titanium is pretty fairly dinged upon wiping with your finger. Small denting, nothing major. On the blade, I don't even care. A little bit of marred up, nothing huge. I'm going to refinish this blade soon anyway. Tolerances are the same as they were. I'll talk about this more in a minute. This is what most people, when they think of a balisong, think of. This obviously isn't, a common knife. This is I'll make a video on this too. It's an, where is it? MS Gumiho? Very odd knife I picked up off Amazon. I wouldn't even say it's blade biased, it's blade heavy. It's a very, very odd knife. But this is 6061 channel aluminum, and I don't have high hopes for it. I'm not even gonna look. Oh, I already saw it. Oh, this hurts me. Even though I don't necessarily like this knife. Yeah. Wiping it off with my shirt. You could see quite dented, quite beat up. The blade doesn't matter. It's a trainer, so who really cares if a trainer gets tipped? Oh, this thing's so weird. Yeah, that's going over there. G10 is just the scales. You can always pick up new G10 scales if you really do like. This is a replicant. Ooh, the fuck? That's new. It's a replicant clone. So, I'm going to go a little bit harder since it is a rep clone. Just a little bit harder than the other knives. Oh, yeah. And looks like it fixed that handle problem. Since G10 is a quite soft material, you will see, even after wiping down, it's pretty marred up. That's what you can expect from G10. Micarta is even worse than G10. G10 is not a weave, like a carbon fiber or something. G10 is a fiberglass reinforced polymer, I think. Don't quote me on that. Plastic, do we even need to do plastic? Come on, it's plastic. Of course it's going to dent and scratch and look like dog shit over time. Especially in white like this. Surprisingly, this is in decent shape. Even though I hate the squiddy, I'm going to hold on to this. So there are a couple things I think of when I think of a beater. Like I said, this is my beater. This is my everyday carry. I don't care what it falls on, what I hit with it, what I cut with it, and it's cheap enough to where I don't need to. I picked this up for $60 USD with a trainer blade. I threw a live blade and then threw an edge on this blade because this was a old style trainer, or just never put an edge on it. This is titanium. This is channel titanium, obviously Zen pins. Listen to those tolerances, they're so good. This thing's durable. This thing, like, holy shit. I didn't even mean that. This thing's durable. This thing's really durable. You can do whatever you want with this. You can literally do whatever you want with it. I think it's the perfect work knife too, because you have a small enough, compact enough knife in your pocket that has no chance of opening if you put it tip down, and then it'll never break on you if you're using it like this, because even if those end pins snap or whatever, you still have a completely usable knife. It will not close on you. It physically cannot close on you because those handles will touch. That titanium, sit for a second. Titanium is awesome. I love titanium. I'll never speak bad about titanium. This is a lower quality titanium than like BRS or other knife manufacturers use. I think it's a Russian grade of titanium, so I don't know necessarily what it is. I think it's comparable to T2 or grade 2 titanium. But as you can see, this is mostly beat from before I bought it. You can see all the dents in it, and honestly, doesn't look too bad. It's a 10-footer. Looking from here, this probably looks fantastic. It does look fantastic. I'm looking at it through the camera. This is akin to my flipping style. This is what I like in a knife. Even though it is a little bit big, I do like big knives. Oh my god, I can't flip. I can do every trick in the book that I want to with this knife. Ooh, that almost ended badly. Backhand fans, perfectly fine. Choker fans, like butter. 0 Gs, like I'd want it to. Does aerials like I want it to. Even though I'm fucking up everything. Does aerials, does everything I need it to. The only thing I don't like about these before I get them is usually the bushings are shot and the hardware is dog shit. These are usually security Torx bits, which is like these style bits, but they have a little post in the middle. Security bits, you know what I mean? I actually ground these pivots down on a bench grinder and just pounded them in. They're press fit in with atropos T10 hardware. But everything on this is torqued down. Yeah, it has like a massive amount of tap and play, but it's a work knife. It's a beater. I can cut whatever I want with this without getting upset, with knowing that there's nothing I can do with this knife that will like fuck it up. Something like this, and honestly I should be holding the false live, because I don't think you should have a work knife or beater that's not a live blade personally, even though you have the opportunity of destroying your knife. So let's take this. If I was carrying a replicant, and I did for a while at work, I carry this exact knife just for the sake of carrying it. I had a replicant in one pocket, and I had the rep clone in another pocket. I actually cut a tree in half with this knife. I used this as I batoned with this. That's why the Zen pins are so absolutely destroyed, and the handle gap will just touch, open and closed. But this was a pretty good beater for what it is. Didn't hate it. It's a good knife. Would I beat a real rep? Absolutely not. Because real reps are expensive. If this had a live blade, I would carry it, but as you hear, the blade actually hits the inside of the handles somewhere. I think it's actually the sweep, or the tip of that Persian point. This wore down over time. It used to be a huge handle gap. It was like quite literally like that big of a handle gap. Just wore down over time because aluminum is not a good material for handles. It's slippery, it sucks. I don't like it. This would actually be a good candidate for a beater knife. Besides the fact that it does not flip the way I like it to. Since it is a Palatheus inspired design, it's handle heavy. The guy I bought this from drilled out the inside of the handles to make it a little bit less handle heavy. Way too handle bias in my opinion. I like the way it flips, but you could see on chokers, I can barely keep a hold of it. You can also see on Z chokers. Ooh, that was almost bad. And with just normal fanning, you see how the blade just wants to pop up. Otherwise, the other reason why I wouldn't use this as a beater is because there's too many screws. So these are double-ended pins, except the pivots. So there's too many ways that a screw could back out. Doesn't matter if the knife has tap or play, like I said. Just the lowest possible maintenance. Like every single one of these are torqued down, and I know that atropos isn't the best in terms of hardware quality, but it's something where it's cheap enough. If you do happen to break something, you could either scab it off another knife, or you could order it from Atropos himself, or Atropos USA, which they now have, and you don't have to worry about it. You know? But this thing will do everything I want it to. This is my ideal beater knife. If you like something handle bias, this is titanium, so you're perfectly fine dropping on concrete. Blade steel doesn't really matter if you're looking for a beater. This just has too many screws, you know? Something like this, where it's a channel design, and it originally had just pinned press fit pins in there. But they fall out because these were glued in, not like press fit. So something like a Kraken, or something akin to a Kraken, could be a good knife. But at the same time, do you really want to flip something over concrete that's aluminum? Because like we saw with this, it's going to get like marred up super, super quick. Let's give a good hard drop. Like that. Just to show, yeah. So if you have a Kraken that's like a relatively expensive knife, you could run a serious chance of fucking that up. Versus this I bought for $60 second hand. Let's fucking just... Like, yeah, it looks like shit. Now it doesn't. Now you couldn't tell. Now it's back to being a 10-footer. And you could tell. I wasn't being gentle on it. There are still areas where it doesn't look that bad. You know? I think titanium, if you can get a cheap channel titanium knife with the most minimal amount of screws, even like a tang pin knife, I think that would be great. That's a great beater. I had a beater Benchmade 42 spring lash for a while. And it was fucking great. Like, I don't care if I drop this. Like you saw, I threw it at a fucking tree. I don't mind. I think that beaters are something that should be part of a staple of every collection, personally. You just need to know what's right for you. If you want a beater squiddy, just because I don't like the squiddy, don't let that, like, deter you, you know? If you want a steel handle knife, like this thing will handle a beating no problem. The lie blade version won't, just because it has a really gnarly blade on it, a really gnarly tip. But, like, come on. Don't let any of my opinions, like, dissuade you from what you want in a knife. Like, I'm not even worried that fell. If this is the lie blade, I'd be worried. Not gonna lie. Because I love the lie blade. I think it's tits. I don't hate this either, for being a trainer. So this video is long. Let's reiterate. The things I want in a beater that I can carry every day. Reliability. That includes like screws. That includes the Zen pin material. That includes stuff like that. The materials used. So that could also be into quality. So the handle material and the blade material. I also want to think about sourcing parts. Sourcing parts is a big thing. If I get one of these weird, because sometimes on these trainers or clones, sometimes the hardware is hard to find. So if I end up breaking hardware, I want to make sure that I have cheap and reliable options to source that hardware. Trainers are just out for beaters for me. Like, out completely. Live blade or die, honestly. Because also, if you're like pulling out a beater to show somebody, it's kind of cool flipping a live blade. If you're flipping a trainer, like, come on. Just flip live blades. Don't be a pussy. Obviously, plastic is out. You know, I don't think aluminum, like, watch. Where is it? Like, look, big old chop. That probably improved grip. And the knife is completely fine. Aside from being dirty, being tossed into a tree. Like, I've cut coolant pipes with this knife. I've cut steaks with this knife. It's just always in my pocket. It's always something that I have around. It's just, you know, it's my go-to. This knife is more reliable than some of my friends. I will always have this on me. I'll never not carry it. Find yourself a beater knife that will, let's see if I can get a thumbnail of this. Find yourself a beater knife that will become your best friend. It will take care of you forever. It'll never ask why. It'll never say, what the fuck are you doing up this late? It'll never ask, why is that person in your car? It doesn't mind if you drop it. Some of these knives will mind. Get a beater. Use your brain. Just think about the things I've said in this video. If it makes sense to you, atropos should be your go-to. Oh, Jesus Christ, I almost fell. If this stuff doesn't make sense to you, do whatever you want to do. You're a free person. You're a free spirit. You're an individual. Do whatever you want to do. But do yourself a favor. Buy yourself an atropos. They're freaking sick. I couldn't do it twice in a row. Deuces.